Shabbat Shalom. One last video. Probably won't be 9 minutes, but I just wanted to show you the end result of the taco here. You got the tofu in there. You got the vegetarian refried beans. They're fat-free, and this vegetable mix is like Dawid chopped it up, and he did real good with it. Look at that. You can, in fact, you know what? Let me top it off with some of the vegetable mix raw, because we need to eat in the raw while we're eating some cooked food, so we can, for digestive purposes. But Dawid teaches me a lot of things, and there are things I also learn too. And so, you know, the sweet taste of enduring trial and tribulation and affliction makes you feel like King David talked about in the Psalms, about preparing you a table from before your enemies. All my critics told me, you didn't go for a PhD. I gotta look at something. You didn't go for a PhD. Why are you out here then? You taught college courses. Why are you out here? I only have one explanation for you. Because Yah told me so. He told me to go sojourn. He told Dawid to go sojourn even before we knew each other. I didn't tell Dawid to go do it. He already was doing it. Met the young man on a prayer call in 2018 when I was in North Carolina, and I already been talking to him a little bit before that. Had to escape state of Texas attempt to try to put me in the Austin State Hospital. You know, Dr. Juan R. Sanchez, the pastor of High Point Baptist Church, wouldn't let me out of the membership. He told me not to go sojourn and preach on Sunday, sit in church on Sunday. He tried to do a satanic ritual on me. He tried to drag me into the woods back behind the church. He consorted with Attorney General Ken Paxton, who wrote me a threatening letter that if I don't take a shot in my butt in 2017, I'm going to be put in the Austin State Hospital the rest of my life. Well, so that would help Sanchez secure me. And then, if I was going to be put in the Austin State Hospital, Sanchez would come in there and offer me freedom in exchange for power of attorney. I wasn't even going to get in the Austin State Hospital to find out. And I'll tell you what, I'd have stayed in there rather than submit to that bastard. And I have to just tell you, it's the truth. These people are a curse, these church pastors. And so, you got to understand, church pastors are engaged in trafficking. They're engaged in kidnapping. And I have endured all the attempts. Dawid and I have endured 2 FBI entrapment operations, and they were both older females, about my age, and they were trying to pretend to be good little gospel helpers, but they were intel. They were both in the CIA. They were both based in the Northeast, you know, Washington, D.C., and the other one was based probably in, you know, Buffalo or something, I don't know. But, you know, all the attempts to try to railroad Dawid's and I ministry, and look what I get to do. They can't find anybody left who's willing. They can't find a Marine who will do what the other ones have done to me. They can't even find anybody. And if they find them, we're going to know who did it. And you know what? After your obedience is complete, according to 2 Corinthians 10, verse 5, once your obedience through the trial and the tribulation is complete, their disobedience will be judged. That's what you have to wait on, friend. Sennacherib's judgment happened in that way. after threatening King Hezekiah. Dr. Juan R. Sanchez is nothing but a Sennacherib. And he continues to try to convince me to stop doing this. It's making the convention look bad. I can gather that my ministry has saved about a couple hundred people from continuing to be a member of his church, and even got out of the Southern Baptist Convention. So that's a blessing. I get to tell you taco truth. I get to eat very good. Look at this, man. I'm going to get off here and eat this in a little bit, because it may be a 7-minute video to be perfect. But oh yeah, look at that. And I kind of made this out of a tostada more than a taco, but hey, you get the point, right? You know, I was looking for my it's here, right here. See, I'm gonna you watch this. I'm gonna put the topper on there. This is the hot sauce that'll drench. That'll be the anointing. There's plenty of avocado oil and olive oil and what I made for Dawid and I tonight. Throw on the hot sauce. Put on the spice. Don't be afraid. You know, even Sanchez himself said have some salt. He sure didn't want me having mine. You know, you. And look, I mean, we're determined. Yahuwah is calling us. He made everything. We escaped Montana with our very lives, and you all don't believe I was dead 5 hours. I was dead 5 hours, and he even showed me exactly who attempted to kill me. And he works more than one job, and he's a private security agent, and he also works at another building in the city of Missoula, Montana. That town was all over Dawid and I. That is a heavy point of trafficking. The churches over there are used to program you into gay sin. Even somebody caught up with us in Kalispell after we fled north on US 93, and she said what one of the pastors wanted to do to Dawid, that he was going to have his way with him. Is that correct? That correct? He's not listening right now. He's got his headphones on, but she sat right there and told me and Dawid in Kalispell that other pastor, who is now dead, wanted to have his way with Dawid. He died. He died in his 40s. He wasn't even 40. He died. I mean, you church pastors need to back off. I mean, that's just one evidence. Some of the Marines are on more depression medication. They're on more Xanax. I mean, I would have rather them not done this and heard the word of Yahuwah and gotten right with Yahusha before bad would happen to them. But we got out of Missoula, Montana with our life, and then we didn't have to escape Spokane, but we had the Union Gospel Mission against us. They were trying to give us harm in the arm, and they stole some of my writings. In my stored stuff, they stole some of my writings. They gave them over. You don't think I don't know that? But I'm going to tell you something. It is going to be about a 10-minute video. But you can't stop Yahuwah. You can, the Union Gospel Mission in Spokane, they lied about Dawid and I. They said we stole something. We didn't steal. And you know what? On the 59th day we checked out, they had already not told us about our work schedule being adjusted. They were doing all kind of gaslighting, and they didn't tell us nothing, and they were going to write us up for not doing something they didn't tell us to do. And you expect me to be a part of your Christian bullcrap? You expect me to go to your church, Southern Baptist, when your churches are plagued with sex case 700 documented? You got millions out there. At the Union Gospel Mission, I can safely tell you, in the upper room with all the privileged program. They call them programmers. They have programmers who put you in a program to get back to work and do all that. And really, it's a slave camp. Those guys up there were doing nothing but watching porn and acting perverted. And I saw it and I knew about it. And I saw how they were acting too. So they call them programmers. And you know what? It ain't gonna be no different when Trump wants to put the homeless. I saw a lot of videos today about the homeless and what Trump wants to do with them. And I tell you something. He wants to put everybody in an internment camp. He wants to put them in slave camps. I don't care. He doesn't care if you're a disabled veteran like me and you can't do nothing and you're still trying to recover from all the ravages of being put in the military as a child twice without your father's knowledge, and then they scrub you. And the Union Gospel Mission itself is a military operation, so it's quite befitting. Just go look at the colors, go look at the design. I ain't got time for it. But you know, Delweeds and I's obedience are being completed, and their disobedience is already being judged. And you know, look, I'm telling you, I warn you. I don't say this because I'm better than anybody else, but you know, touch not thine anointed, nor do harm to his servants, the prophets. So why don't you listen? You ain't got nobody left who even wants to do it. They tremble at Yahuwah for what they're being asked to do. Well, Shabbat Shalom, signing out 12 minutes.